Hey everyone, welcome to Making Sense. If you've been here before, I want to thank you for coming back again. I truly appreciate seeing you here. And if this is your first time checking out my channel, welcome aboard. If you could do me a huge favor, click that subscribe button down below, like, comment, and or share this video, that'd be greatly appreciated. Today's subject, Fragrance 1. That's right, Jeremy Fragrance's brand. We're going to review both of his fragrances today. Stay tuned. Alright, like I said in the preview, we're going to be reviewing the Fragrance 1 brand. They have two fragrances out as of right now, and it's a fragrance line that came to life basically because of YouTube channels and one specific person with all of his followers, like me and everyone else out there in the fragrance community, Jeremy Fragrance. Probably the most influential YouTuber out there up to now anyways, up to this point. He definitely had a ton of followers. He was just funny to watch, things like that. Some people loved him, some people hated him, but in the end, he really is a pillar in the fragrance community. He definitely was a major influencer in people purchasing different fragrances, and you know, for me personally, was a great and or fun part of my fragrance journey. You know, I really did enjoy popping on, seeing him do a spin, things like that, and ultimately to watch his passion project come to life in Fragrance 1 is a really cool thing in my opinion. So Fragrance 1 has two fragrances to date. They started off with one about a year or so ago that came out that ultimately was funded by Kickstarter, and you know, Jeremy Fragrance was able to blow his goal out of the water. He definitely raised a ton of money very fast, was able to get the brand going, get everything rocking, and actually get the fragrance made, I would say pretty quickly in my opinion, but I am not a perfumer, and I've never tried to create a fragrance. So I don't know if it takes 1 day, 50 days, a year, 2 years, or more, depending on what you put into it. Now, the perfumer he had behind this was Alberto Morillas. Don't want to ruin his name, hopefully I said it the right way. And he's, you know, a legend in the game. He's made a ton of fragrances, probably most notably known for Acqua di Gio. But there's a lot of that information on the web if you want to really get into that side of the story. Look at the story behind it, check out Jeremy's channel, check out other people's channels. There's been so many reviews about this, or general conversations about the brand, you kind of get it. So again, the first fragrance, Office for Men, the title says it all. It's supposed to be usable in an office setting, so that people around will enjoy it, not get overblown by the smell, by the fragrance, and the person buying it or buying it for someone, it's not supposed to have to think. It just says the name right there. So think about the concept behind the brand. If you were just a person going to Google or going to some sort of a search engine and said, hey, I need a really good office fragrance for men, and then you use things like the promotion that Jeremy will say is the best fragrance for men, the best office fragrance for men, the best so on and so forth. And if all that stuff's typed up over and over again, people are going to start quoting him when they're either talking about his ads or promotions, and that phrasing is going to still continually tag it and associate itself with this guy right here. So branding wise, I think it's a genius move. It really is. It's just a great way to get things talking and going. So again, the titles of this brand are supposed to be very clear, very easy, very simple, which leads us to the newest release, Date for Men. So Date for Men is just that. It's supposed to be used for going on a date, a night out with that special someone, or if it's going for a date, maybe you're going to get a date too. So why wouldn't you use it for like a club or a bar or something like that as well? But it's titled Date for Men. We'll go with that for now. But in my opinion, it all depends on where you're going to go get that date. If you already have one lined up, great. If you don't, use it to go get one if it's going to work for you. Let's get to the bottles. We have Office for Men. I've never done a review on this one yet. The bottle itself's pretty cool. Cap is pretty cheesy. It's actually very cheesy. If I squeeze this, it just bends. The sprayer doesn't look anything fancy, but it does carry a lot of fragrance when you spray it. So it does work really well. It's actually got that pressure assist, kind of like Dior and Chanel does, where you can control the flow, or you can do a huge nice gust like that. That went out at least a foot and then some beyond the area there. This is Office for Men. This one here is pretty cool. It has, from what I can tell, ambroxan, some sort of a woodsy, I'm not sure what exactly the woodsy notes are. It's got ambroxan. You can definitely smell ambroxan. If you haven't heard, this has ambroxan. That's probably one of the biggest notes that sticks out. It's a massive appealing component when they put it in any other fragrances. And for me, that gives me one of those nose tingles that I really do enjoy. And I love the phrase nose tingles. I say that a lot, but it's what it does. It gives me a little tingle in my nose. Overall, it's fresh, it's spicy, it has a massive appealing side to it. Some people don't really like this fragrance, other people love it. It's like anything else in the fragrance community. Some people are jaded just because they don't like Jeremy fragrance. Okay, great. And some people might be jaded because they do like Jeremy fragrance. For me, if I didn't like the fragrance, I'd just get rid of it. Decant it, sell it, whatever it might be. So overall, the spray is good. The presentation's nothing fancy. It's a glass black bottle. If you've actually been going to Marshalls and things like that, you'll see these bottles on some stuff called Forest and Modern and all these other things for like 12 bucks. It looks exactly the same. This is clean though. It's not like a dirty bottle. You can see through it pretty nice. I have lights behind me. I can see straight through up there. On the bottom, you have the size, batch information. Pretty cut and dry. Overall, you get 100 ml, 3.4 ounce bottle. The spray, like I said, has great coverage. You'll see a lot of times the recommended amount of spray is like one here, one on the back, other side of the back. It's like 4 or 6 sprays, give or take, from Jeremy himself. For me, I might spray that amount. Probably not from this direct atomizer. I normally would transfer this into a travel atomizer to make it easier for me to bring with me wherever I go and not have to carry a full bottle. And when you're using a travel atomizer, you're not getting the juice that comes out of this beast right here because, let's face it, you're not. I'm going to spray this in my hand. Whee! Now, I'll tell you right now, before I even get through all the rest of this, I do like Office for Men. Now, one of the big things they say is there isn't a variation difference between the first batch, the second batch, and the third batch. Don't know how much I feel that that's exactly right. I've said it before on Facebook communities before I ever started this YouTube channel that I personally really like this third batch or whatever it is. Maybe it's been able to sit in the bottle longer and, you know, over time the smell got even better or something like that. Oh, yeah, but to me, you have, like I said, you have ambroxan, you have a really fresh note. It's almost got the cleanness and the niceness of the blue notes, the blue fragrances in a sense. Not completely, not deep into the full, like Bleu de Chanel or Sauvage, things like those. This is more of a cleaner, fresher fragrance, more towards like a vetiver. I don't know if this has vetiver, but more towards something like that in my opinion. And it's got a pepper, something in there that's a little bit spicy, and with the ambroxan and everything like that. To me, it's just a really nice fragrance. My hand's really wet. It's really oily. I sprayed this pretty close. But to me, it's mass appealing. I would say I get probably 3 to 4 hours of this where I really smell it coming off of my skin and wouldn't think about refreshing just yet. Real big projection off of this bottle, I think I get like 2 to 3, maybe. And it's not ridiculous, but if I spray a ton of sprays just like anything else, people will smell it for a long time. With that being said, Office for Men, really nice fragrance to me. You know, I do enjoy it. It's one that I have a few bottles of. I don't plan on getting rid of it in my collection. And in reality, it's one that I keep a travel atomizer with me because it is a compliment getter. You know, it has, people just ask what you're wearing. It always follows up with a compliment. No one has said to me, oh, what is that you're wearing? Get it away. You know, things like that, which is good. So, not going to be a dead horse from me. Like I said, you get about 3 to 4 hours, give or take a projection, 2 to 3 really, 3 to 4, where you still got some of it going strong. It's not weakened completely at that point in time. 6 to 8 hours probably overall lasting. It might go up to 10, but I'd say 6 to 8 hours solid. You can definitely do a skin scent after that, 8 to 10. I don't really think I tested it that much longer past 10 hours. But overall, to me, it's a very nice fragrance. Nice job, Jeremy. The second release from Fragrance One, or Jeremy Fragrance, is this one right here, Date for Men. Now, Date for Men is supposed to be the fragrance you wear to go on the date. meet that special someone, or go out with your current special someone and have a really good time and not have to think about your fragrance because the bottle tells you this is for a date. The bottle itself black or really dark in color. You can see through with light coming through. It's got white text in the front here. It's a little bit thicker. It's almost like they put bold on when they made this text. A little bit than the other one for office. On the bottom, you have the batch code, you have the size and all that kind of information. The back's completely empty. Nothing crazy there. The cap, same cheap silver cap. It works though, does its job. And the same sprayer. Nice crimp-on sprayer, nothing fancy, no collar around it, which, that isn't the important part technically, because the sprayer itself, it's kind of beast mode. You can do a little tiny bit of spray, a little bit there, and a ton of spray. Now, as far as the fragrance goes, it's probably why you clicked the link anyways. You might not have heard about Office before. You probably did if you're in the fragrance community. But Date for Men's a pretty new one. There's not a ton of reviews on just yet. So I'm hoping when you get the chance to see this, you're enjoying this one. Alright. Let's get my hand to spray. Let that dry a little bit. When I wore this today, I got this in and I was very excited to wear it. So I didn't really have another fragrance on all day. I think I did wear a little bit of Prada L'Homme because that's one of my go-tos. And when this arrived, I had a chance to grab the box, open it up, and give it a spray. I work in an office with a bunch of people, really cool people. I'm very lucky. And the person that sits directly next to me is a really good friend of mine for a long time. And whenever I get fragrances in, I try not to spray them in the office because, let's face it, it can be really strong, really fast. Once in a while, I spray it in the box and let people smell the boxes, things like that. But as far as actually spraying them, putting them on, wearing them, it's not something I do in the actual office itself. Today was an exception. I had made a point saying that I was waiting for this to come in, kind of excited, and that I intended on doing a review tonight, so kind of gear up because I'm going to spray it. So when it came time to spray it, I did warn him it could be very strong because I had never smelled it before. It was the first time it was going to be sprayed, and when I sprayed it, he had said it smelled good, but definitely strong. So that was a good sign. I did a couple sprays, one to my left wrist, one to my right wrist, inside of my sleeve of my jacket area, and one to the back of my neck. Overall, it cleared up pretty fast in the office. It wasn't too bad. Rich, thanks for going through that for me, buddy. I'm glad you're watching this video right now. I know you're enjoying it too. Ultimately, the smell itself got into my jacket, got into my shirt, got on my skin, and the back of my neck and the back of my jacket. And with about 3 to 4 hours in, it still was projecting pretty nice. So I could still smell it nice and clear. It wasn't like out of control. It wasn't like, hey, get away from me, you smell too strong. It wasn't anything even close to that. The scent profile, for me, starts off with, I want to say I smell Ambroxan in there. I don't know what the notes are. Again, I always try to tell you what I personally smell. But I still smell some sort of an Ambroxan or something like that gives you that nose tingle. It could be some sort of pepper. But citrus. Citrus is what comes off the top here for me. I definitely smell some kind of citrusy vibes. I'm not exactly sure which ones are in here again, but they smell very nice. For me, is it a nice fragrance? Yes, it's a nice fragrance. Would I wear this fragrance? Yeah, I would wear this fragrance. Would I decant this fragrance to keep a special atomizer on me? Yeah, I would decant this fragrance to keep it on me. The only real big thing is now, I'm jumping around here a little bit, but again, 3 to 4 hours projection, it's still projected. It was smelling pretty nice too, and it was 12 degrees here in Massachusetts, so it worked pretty well in cold temperatures. I was inside, outside, back and forth a few times throughout the day after I sprayed this, so it definitely got a chance to get beat up by the cold, and still carried pretty well. Now, when I got home tonight and got everything put away, it's been something like 8 or 9 hours since that time when I first sprayed it. And when I put the jacket like this, the sleeve to my face, I can still smell the fragrance nice and clear. It's not projecting anymore. It would be more like a skin scent if it was, still on my skin in a sense. I had to wash up so I could spray my hands tonight. But that's pretty good performance. The only part that people really get hung up on is the price point for this bottle. At this time, if you buy 2 of them, you find someone to split them with you, that's your best way to save some money to get a bottle. If you just want to try it, go for a decant. You can find them all over the internet, especially on Facebook, places like that. Just make sure you buy from like a trusted person, someone that other people recommend, things in that nature. Because, you know what, part of the fragrance community is building trust with some of the amazing people we get to work with and talk to on a daily basis, and enjoy the same passion that we do. Now, what does this smell like in comparison? What kind of fragrances would I put it up against? Alright, you're going to hear this from, I think, everyone. Sauvage, Ultra Male, not the original Le Male. It's not like they smell exactly the same. They're just in the same type of category. It's almost like you have Sauvage, you have Ultra Male, and you have Date for Men, right in the middle, with a little bit more freshness to it too, if that makes sense. And I don't mean a woodsy fresh, it's not like that, it's more that citrus fresh. But for me, it's a really nice fragrance. Again, I don't do a full rating system 1 through 10. At some point I'll develop one, and I'll use certain fragrances that I believe in and trust and truly enjoy to set the boundaries, almost like to have a key up in the corner, be like, oh, this is on a 1 to 10 Green Irish Tweed scale, you know, something like that. But for me, definitely worth getting your nose on. Is it something amazing that's outlandish that no one has ever done before? No, it isn't. Do I think Office for Man is more like that? Yeah, I do. I think Office for Man, to me anyways, the third batch is one that for me is a really nice fragrance in my collection. I really enjoy that one. This one I just got today, so I can't give a true experience on what the results are of people. To wrap this one up, we have Fragrance 1, Jeremy Fragrance's Brant. Office for Men, Date for Men. You have these two guys right here. People are going to love them, people are going to hate them, just like every other fragrance in the game. That's okay. But please, do your own homework. Watch videos like this. If you trust me or you like the fragrances that I've said I liked before, give them a shot, because I like both of these a lot. If you don't like the fragrances I mentioned or the ones that they were similar to, maybe don't give it a shot. But you got to remember, everything that I smell has a similar scent profile to me and my history and my olfactory senses. Because if it was just based off of facts and notes and things like that, we wouldn't have the amazing histories we have with our noses and the things that come to mind when we smell fragrances. You know, whatever it is, these to me smell really nice. They just do. So if you get a chance, get a decant, order a bottle. Definitely on the website for Jeremy Fragrance or Fragrance 1, I believe if you order 2 bottles of Office for Men, you put 2 in the basket, it's still active with one of those will just become $0. So if you're going to buy one, add a second one to the basket. Don't just put one in the basket. Make sure it's going to give you that discount automatically for the second bottle. And right now, Date for Men is the same thing. Now that's the biggest problem with Date for Men is the price. Office for Men's right up in that same realm too, where people get upset because of the pricing. But let's face it, there's so many fragrances out there. If you just want to get your nose on these two, you can find a way to get a decant at a fair price for yourself. Again, I recommend both of these. They smell great to me. We'll get a little bit longer wearing with Date for Men and go from there. Thank you so much for checking out my channel today. I really appreciate you stopping by. Hopefully you enjoyed hearing and learning about those two fragrances and my view and opinion on them. I know I did. And one of the funny parts is I really enjoy spraying the fragrances. I like the smells, I like all the stuff that I get from them personally. And sometimes I'll have to do retakes multiple times because the words just don't come out of my mouth just right or even close, or I'll bite my tongue, or my dog will go crazy upstairs and I have to reshoot something. So there are times when I spray a fragrance on myself like 5 or 6 times. And to me, that's just funny, you know, but that's the way it works. Ultimately, I do truly appreciate each and every one of you stopping by. If you do me a huge favor, if you haven't done so already, click that subscribe button down below. Like, comment, share this video. That'd be greatly appreciated. The comments, I love reading them. I love responding to them, all of that stuff. And if you want to put a note down below, let me know if you had a chance to smell Office for Men, Date for Men. Let me know what you think about them. If you haven't smelled them yet, if you're planning on doing so, let me know that as well. And if you have no intention on doing it, that's fine too. You know, everyone has their own choice, everyone has their own opinion, and that's one of the best parts about being a community. So remember, if you're making the world a better place, just one spray at a time, then to me, you're just making sense. Until next time.